Welcome back to the Full Force Combat Podcast. I'm joined by the double champ again. How are we, big man?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to chat to you. Seeing you out in Prague, loving it. All the photos, the fans, everything. You soaked it up that night, didn't you?
It was a good buzz. Yeah, I was actually really blown away by the fucking reception I got over there. It was kind of overwhelming. Like, I got out of a taxi and there was a queue of like 50 people within a minute and a half there. I was just fucking like, wow. People pay attention to MMA over here, you know?
Yeah,
So it's good buzz. Yeah, really enjoyed that. But
absolutely class. And you're back out in Prague this weekend, cornering stablemate Raphael Federico. So let's just get your take on his training lately, his mindset since his defeat earlier this year. I know he wasn't really well and he was operating at about 40%, he said. But how do you think he's responded to that? And can you just give us a little bit of insight from your perspective?
yeah, I think it was a big shock to him because, like, look, when you've won everything up to that, you know, you expect to keep winning. The lad he fought was good, robust fighter, decent fighter. But you could see he was just a little bit shell shocked. Like, I think the physicality of the fight sort of overwhelmed him a little bit as well. And yeah, he was sick going into it. I was watching that, like, and I was seeing that in his training. But to be honest, I think sometimes that's the best thing that can happen in your career at that stage. You know, I was 4-0 and I got smacked, like I got knocked out by that guy, Alan Amandowski. The level of ambition that can create within you, you know, especially if you're a guy who expects to win all the time. And he's a smart young lad and he's got a good heart and a good head. And I'm like, so, like, he wasn't around that much right afterwards. But since he's been back in the gym, yeah, he's been training like a dog. And like, it's kind of the technical response it creates. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, okay, what do I need to fix to be better at this? And I think that he's seen most of that stuff. Now, he's just had a late opponent change, which is a little bit of a mindfuck always, but he's a smart enough young lad to be able to take that in his stride and just say, like, all right, cool, now I'm dealing with a different situation. And a guy like Chihoda, who he's originally supposed to fight, it's a very different style to the guy he's fighting. But I still think, like, look, he has to have a really bad day for this guy to do well in this fight. I think his natural skill set, like, even though, like, to be honest, the guy who lost last time, I think beats the guy he's about to fight. So I expect him to do very well. I expect him to put on a good show. But it's a pretty robust guy. Your man's a tough athlete too, you know.
Absolutely. He has sparred with him in Thailand, he said. He said he don't remember much, but it was like 1 or 2 rounds. But he knows his capabilities. You know his capabilities. So the expectation's there for him now, and it's giving him that extra push, like you said, after that defeat. But it's going to be interesting for you to be Oktagon side. I know you have done it previously, but since you've had double champ status and you've always been going to the cage recently, it's going to be a bit different being on the opposite side of the cage in Prague this time, I suppose. But there is more of interest for you that evening. The middleweight game changer, which you do have a close set of eyes on. Now, the dimensions of it are interesting, aren't they, Will? You've made a lot of noise about wanting that triple champ status. You've made no bones about that. You are attacking that in 2026, no shadow of a doubt. However, we've got Karim Engizek, who's the current champion, the current belt holder, and he's not put the title up should he get to the final. If he loses in this tournament, to whether that be mixed stand or in the next round, then that's going to create an even more of a dimension. We're going to have a lineal champion, a current belt holder, an interim champion, and then we've got Will fucking Fleury on the march in. So yeah, it's the game changes opened up greatly for the middleweight division, but it can be really exciting over the next 12 months with you boys, can't it?
Yeah, I think it's well set up for this to be a great face-off. As in, look, they're talking about signing Martin Buday now. I will fight Buday if they sign him, and then it'll have to be a quick drop down to middleweight. Like, I don't think anybody in the light heavyweight division wants to fight me right now, which is a little bit disappointing. And like, I'm surprised at how much Oktagon are willing to allow guys to not fight, but they're trying to build German stars, I suppose. So that's their whole MO at the moment. But like, I look at Muradov and I think this guy is a legit as fuck fighter. It'd mean the world to me to beat a guy like him. It would also be incredible to be the first ever triple champ. And like, I've said this in the interviews with last time in Prague, that's my Everest. You know, like when I set out, like, you know, when I wake up and I'm fucking thinking of like, okay, you know, what is the thing that you want to go and fucking achieve? it's that triple champ status, and to be the first guy to do that. So I think if I get this opportunity at all, I will smash it, because it could, like, doing things like that create a fire in you that you just, like, it makes you a better person to go and chase things like that, I feel like. So I'm incredibly excited to see what happened. Like, look, to be honest, from my point of view, I hope Stanton absolutely fucking smashes Engizek. And possibly, if that's the case, I don't know if Engizek will fight Muradov, because it's pretty obvious then, if he's getting smashed by Stanton, he's not going to beat Muradov. And then hopefully Muradov can, fight at the end of the year, give me a little bit of time to get down, and then me and him could do it early next year. Like, I met him shortly after, like, backstage in Prague, and I was like, I'm coming for you, and he was having a good laugh with, like, we were a bit jovial, but, like, he said, look, if you make it, I'll fight you. And I was like, I will make it. So, and I think he's a man of his word.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he would refuse that fight. And right now, that's been the problem. Everybody else just doesn't want to fucking do it. So, like, Buday, I'm sure he will fight me at light heavyweight. I don't know who the fuck they're going to get after him. Like, it's very disappointing, because you feel like your career's been held back because people are, like, entitled to be pussies because of where they're from, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So because these boys are German or they're Czech, it's like they don't have to fight the champ. They can still get hyped up, and they can still get, like, main event slots on cards. And they know they get their ass whooped if they fought the champ. So from their point of view, it's like, yep, better to not do this. But I don't think the promotion should be allowing guys to be doing that. Like,
no, absolutely. I think with the middleweights, like you said, that you've got time to defend either one or both of your current titles that you hold, while that sort of plays out.
Yeah, what I'd love to do is, like, Buday as soon as possible, if that way, if he does get signed for Oktagon, get that, like, done as soon as possible. Go down, defend light heavyweight at the end of the year, and then, like, March, February, like, look, February would be a bit of an ask, but, like, March, April next year, we could do the middleweight.
Absolutely. I think the Buday one's really interesting development over the last couple of weeks, because that's sort of give you an extra option as well with what's going on at light heavyweight.
To be honest, right now, it's not an extra option. It's fucking only option.
He's the only,
he's the only lad who'll take it. Like, so,
and
like,
to be fair,
everybody else has just stayed extremely fucking quiet. Like,
and to be fair as well, big man, he said in interviews that the biggest offer that he's attracted to right now is from Oktagon. So it could happen sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Like,
and that's a massive fight. The prospect of you versus him for the heavyweight championship is huge, man.
Yeah, it's a big fight. Like, a guy 7-1 the UFC, 16-2 overall. Beat some very solid guys. Had a lot of hype going into him. Well, had a lot of legitimate people going, wow, this guy's actually pretty legit heavyweight. Like, so going out there, and, like, to be honest, I've never considered myself a heavyweight throughout my career, but I'm there now. And I'm like, right, I know I can beat most of these guys regardless. I think, like, at light heavy, honestly, I don't know who beats me. At heavy, I'm, like, looking at guys like Tom Aspinall. I'm like, fuck that. But at the same time, man, I look at the skill set of a lot of those guys, and I'm like, okay, I know I can break those guys down, and I can smash them guys. I'm not a huge man, but I can still do the business against, like, people a lot bigger than me who just don't have the fucking skill set. Like,
absolutely. Now, we know your outline of your plan, but obviously things can change in mixed martial arts very quickly. But one thing that is changing, and it's changing for the better, because we hope that you get your big Irish return, is the Irish roster that they're building slowly. We've got Richie Smullen right now. We've got Dennis Frimpong ranked. Irish takeover in Oktagon, isn't they, Will? We're building towards back end of next year, Ireland, and we'll have a couple of champions then. Couple more.
Look, if you look at what Richie came in and did, I think they've just developed the habit of massively underestimating how good Irish fighters are.
Oh, yeah.
So they had, what's his name, Borbrink, booked for his next fight already. It was like, lads, you're letting this lad fight Smullen. He's not going to be able for that next fight. Like, and that turned out to be the case. I think on the Instagram post I put up, I said it. I was just like, rookie move. Like, as in, if you've watched Smullen at all, or if you know anything about him, that lad's not going to beat him. And then he's not just going to beat him, he's going to hurt him. Absolutely. And all of that has turned out to be true. So it looks like Richie's going to get that slot on the Bratislava card now. And if he goes in and smashes that card, is he close to a title? Kind of looks like it, to be honest. And, like, who knows what's happening in that lightweight division at the moment. So it's interesting. Like, things could really open up. They've just signed Brian Manning. There's Dennis. There's Jack McGuire's fighting again soon. So there's a few lads. But like the one thing that I'm feeling consistently, and look, obviously I'm leading the charge with all of this, there is just a lack of ambition on their part to even consider coming to Ireland. I thought if I did enough, I'd change their mind. Maybe if I get triple champ, maybe if Richie wins the belt, if Brian Mannon's putting in big performances.
Yeah.
But I think they're looking at the market over here and they're just saying, it's not something like, you look at it, they have the RTL deal in Germany. They don't have any terrestrial TV deal in England or Ireland. They don't even seem interested in kind of recreating one. Like I've been chatting to them about possibly putting it out on Virgin Media, even just like a best of Oktagon shows like one or two of my fights and some of the other like big fights they've had over the last few years. Put that out on free tier TV for a week or do a couple of weeks of that in a row, then advertise the show, see how many pay-per-view buys you get off it. Acting like that, there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of buy-in from them. And look, maybe they've done the figures on it and they just don't see it as worth it. But like, you're signing so many legit Irish guys and we're going to go out there and win. Like, I've no doubt that like Richie, whoever he fights next, is going to do very well. Like, I'm obviously like, what am I, number 2 pound for pound in the promotion now? If Kieda leaves, I'm the number 1 pound for pound guy. Like, if I get that triple champ status, I'll be number 1 pound for pound. It's like, you're signing all these legit Irish lads, but you don't seem to have the ambition to use them properly. It's a strange one. I honestly don't understand it. I'm trying to make sense of it in my head, but I still haven't found an answer.
It is. Hopefully they will be building slowly towards it, but we just have no patience with it right now, do we?
I'm 26 as well. I'm not fucking waiting around forever. And like I've said, I will do what it takes to get this show back to Ireland.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know what to, like, if they said, look, Will, you go out, you win another 4 fights, you keep the momentum going, you generate a thing where people are going to come. If they said that, it'd be like, okay, cool, I'll do that. But I still don't know if that is the case. And even there's been extremely, like, I've had no communication from them since I won the double belt. Like, I've met the lads, but anytime I try to talk to them about anything serious, it's like fobbed off very quickly. Like, so it's been frustrating, to be honest. And like, I'm obviously in a place where I can do something genuinely special, and I don't think very few fighters in the world are in the position I'm in right now. And to not exploit that seems like an absolute waste. Because you have a guy genuinely willing to fight anybody. Like, absolutely. I will. Like, if they sign Buday, great, I'll go and fight Buday. Tough fight, not even in my natural weight class. I'll fucking do it because that's who I am. And that's like, I know I'm at a level where I can beat guys like that. But even if it's like, okay, that's the toughest situation available. Yeah, cool, let's do it. That's the mentality I've had for a good while now. So like, how many guys are you going to get in that position? And how many guys are you going to get in that position who are already a double champ? So they can do big things with me now. And they're not even talking to me.
It's not even just that as well. It's the dance partners that are available. The prospect of you versus Buday or Muradov in Dublin is monstrous. It's absolutely huge. It's not just like, no disrespect to Lazar Todev, he was a great fighter, but the marketability of Muradov, the marketability of Muradov compared to Todev is just astronomical apart. But hopefully you'll be able to have a word with him this weekend and we can get some sort of update.
I'll do my best to corner one of the boys at some point.
But big man, thank you very much for your time. Cheers. Enjoy Prague this weekend, and I hope Rafa does the business, man.
Lovely. Cheers, mate. Thanks for that.
Speak again soon, big man. Thank you.